Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer. Joining me is a man who hates it when vampires attack him when he's at his local dive bar. It's Chris Kelly.
Hello, everyone.
So you're at your local dive bar. You're enjoying a $1 Miller Lite night. You know, you're there. You're on the jukebox. You're playing. You're playing some Foghat. You're putting on some Elvis.
You know my secrets.
Yeah, you're playing pool. You're throwing darts at the same. You're a busy guy in this dive bar because you're the only one basically keeping it running.
Well, after a dollar beer night, then yeah, everyone's pretty much.
Yeah, and you're playing darts with one hand. You're playing pool. You're running you're that guy though that puts like $10 on the jukebox, and then everyone just waits for your songs to be done. And they're all Elvis C tracks. And they're not even the B tracks.
It's mixed with Steppenwolf.
Yeah, and you're, geez Louise, why did he play Slow Ride 4 times in a row? But so vampires come into your dive bar and they just, they take the spurs on the back of their boots, slit people's throats.
They weren't there for the French fry sale.
Yeah, they're snapping necks. They're shooting people in the back. I mean,
it was a tough game of darts. I mean, it was for a while. It was pretty touch and go for myself.
Now, who would win in a game of darts, you or a vampire?
I think it would depend on the situation.
Is their hand-eye coordination better?
I don't think. I mean, have we ever? Well, we did see that in Twilight with the baseball. But does that really count, though? I mean, depending on mythology. I mean,
now their baseball games. Did they ever get those baseballs back?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't even. Did they ever get that?
And
those back?
Where were those balls landing?
Yeah, right. They smack it in Wisconsin, then they winds up in like Kansas.
Were they hitting people on the interstate?
You think like that would definitely have been like driving like, damn it, Collins.
There's that movie that showing
it's starting to rain outside. Oh no! Everybody's like,
the vampires are playing baseball again.
Everybody's hauling ass to get back home.
I will say, though, that I know this movie, you talk about in this film, these vampires, when one of them fought for the South in the Civil War, they kind of have a Southern type lean. It was during the 80s with Reaganomics, so Catherine Bigelow was trying to make a statement here. But they lived in the desert, dude. I mean, at least the vampires in Twilight lived in the Pacific Northwest with a lot of cloud cover and trees.
Yeah, I didn't really quite understand that either, because if you're out in the desert, there wouldn't be too much for you to hide in.
Yeah.
But then they did show how that they would actually be able to cover up all the windows, which was interesting. Was on the commentary for this. Catherine Bigelow talked about how they did almost like a vampire boot camp, whereas they gave them household items and then they put them in a room with windows and then they had to black out everything that they could find. So they had, as you saw with the spray paint, so you see them spray painting inside the car and then you see the tinfoil. And Lance Henriksen says in the behind the scenes footage in the documentary on the DVD documentary that he got the idea for the tinfoil from Elvis. And I remember reading that in the book about Elvis Presley's later on life, that he would black out his windows with tinfoil because not only would it absorb the heat, but it would also, everything would be perfectly blacked out.
And when it got really hot, he could put a peanut butter jelly banana sandwich on it sideways and just press it against it.
I think that was probably the more ultimate goal, but yeah.
Hey, baby.
Word of honey, baby.
Yeah, the sun's not getting in, my sandwich is getting cooked. Oh, peanut butter. Peanut butter jelly.
I thought that was pretty interesting. And she said when they first tried the boot camp, that they could do an entire room in about 10 minutes. But then after they did it, after a few days, they got down to less than 2 minutes.
Wow, that's cool.
So can you imagine that? Like somebody going into a room and had to black everything out. And then they could do that in less than 2 minutes. But it was everybody doing it. But she said that it was interesting to see that naturally they would all take on the certain roles. Like one person would do the tape, the other person would do the paint.
Oh, that's cool.
That's naturally what they did, and that's what they stuck with.
Now, when was the first time you learned that Diamondback, played by Jeanette Goldstein, was Vasquez in Aliens?
When I saw this movie, the last time I had seen this movie was, I must have been maybe 10.
Yeah.
But then when I rented it again from
Videodrome?
From Videodrome. My buddies out there.
Videodrome.
I watched it and I was like, that woman looks really familiar. And my immediate reaction was, that's John Connor's stepmom. And then I realized, oh wait, that's Vasquez from Aliens. I
just started jumping up and down. I was like, ah!
It was pretty interesting because I was like, my first thought was, that's John Connor's stepmom. Nice. She looks almost like, she doesn't look like she's aged much, but then again, that was only like 5 years apart.
Now, this movie, a lot of people have, there's been much to do about it. It brings in Lance Henriksen, it brings in Bill Paxton, and then Goldstein to play the vampires, and they had just gotten done with Aliens, which was James Cameron, and he got married to Catherine Bigelow. So I've heard conflicting reports where Cameron was like, "Hey guys, take my guys. Hey." Why is James Cameron does not sound like Elvis. So he gave, there's some theories about that. But then Bigelow said that she tested them first. She tested them. It was a casting process.
Yeah.
Like James Cameron just say, "You get these 3. Go."
Yeah. She talked about that briefly in the DVD as well, saying that she tested them all together to see who jived the best. And those 3 got together the best. And they really did work everything out a lot better than everyone else. So it was like, that would be the natural assumption we'd describe these guys.
Yeah, they said it was like a family element. And when they got done, Bill Paxton was saying that he and Lance they pitched a prequel. They're like, let's shoot it now. They loved being on the set so much with Bigelow. I remember Bill Paxton saying that Catherine Bigelow was the first female director that he had ever worked with. Yeah. And he just said he loved it. He thought it was really great. Lance Henriksen said the same thing. He said, it was my first experience with a female director. It was great. It was a real, matriarchal situation. And he said we were a real family on that set. So did you get that vibe from the behind the scenes footage and the commentary?
Well, the behind the scenes footage, it was just brief. But a lot of the interviews that they showed were done much later. Like, I think when the DVD came out was the mid 2000s.
Got it.
So a lot of that probably they forgot about.
Oh, they did a Blu-ray release that because Twilight hit big. Did you see the Blu-ray cover of that movie?
Yeah, it looks just like Twilight. When I saw it, I was like, what is that? Is that Caleb? Because that looks just like Edward Cullen.
If I had a bunch of people who love Twilight and like, oh, look at this movie. This looks like Twilight. I would have been like, let's watch this movie. Because this is a dark...
It is definitely not anything like Twilight.
They don't call them vampires. The murder is pretty wanton. It's very bloody.
It's a very graphic film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of violence. Where was it? Sweden that it was banned because of all the violence in the movie, and then when they did eventually bring it into, I think it was Sweden. I have to look it up.
It was Swedes.
But they brought it back. They brought it to over there, and they had cut out a lot of the violence, specifically the scene where Caleb is initiated. So like the most violent scene in the movie, which is the most memorable scene. Well, they're all a lot of them memorable, but that's a very memorable scene. They cut that out. So for a long time, a lot of people did not see that scene.
The bar scene?
Yeah.
That bar scene.
As violent as hell.
The music and the tone and the way that it just lingers. I love that moment because it's in no rush.
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow talks about that in the commentary, saying that it's almost like a cat and mouse situation. And Lance Henriksen, he's not on the commentary, but he talks about in the behind the scenes. How many times do you think this family has basically gone on a Greyhound bus and been like, hey guys, listen up, none of y'all are leaving. So they know what they're doing. Yeah. So they know how to get away. And we find out later on that Lance Henriksen was around since the Civil War, and he knows how to kill and not get caught. They all know that they're never ever going to get caught.
Which is random because they're driving around in a camper that's totally blacked out.
Yeah, I would think, especially that opening shot of them driving up and grabbing Caleb, it's like, I would think someone would, like, I realize they're on a farm, but you don't think your dad probably would have gotten to his car?
Oh, they saw it.
They did, yeah. And that's how it starts. I mean, well, not how it starts, but how 10 minutes into it, and you're just like, I would think that your dad probably would have been like, what the hell? And got into his truck and like,
get back here.
Give him my son back.
Come on, guy. He actually gets his son back, which is correct. Like, you never see that in these movies.
No, yeah. And it's very unexpected, which was interesting how at the hotel scene where we see that Sarah, the sister, she's trying to get a Coke, and then Homer sees her. There's a whole nother thing.
Homer's a creeper.
Well, I mean, what's interesting was they talk about this in the commentaries that Homer sees May. I don't think it's ever really discussed in the movie, but it's kind of
he turned her, right? May?
He did. Yeah. Everybody gave themselves like their own little backgrounds, and that how Homer turned May, and whenever Caleb is introduced and May and Caleb fall in love, Homer sees himself almost as like an outsider now, and in order to get back that feeling of like he's in love with something or someone, he sees Sarah, and his idea is, well, I'll turn her, so now I have someone who's my size.
That's crazy.
Even though it is like, I mean, you got to think about it. It's like, I think.
Well, he can't obviously date. He's a decades-old man.
He's supposed to be 40.
Yeah, he would never pull a 40-year-old woman because he looks like a 13, 14-year-old kid.
He was 12 in real life. But yeah, he looks like he would have been around that age. And there's no way that he would be able to get anyone older than that. So he sees Sarah and he's like, oh, well, now you can be my May. And it's an added bonus basically to him that it's, that turns out that's, Caleb's sister.
Yeah.
He does not, I thought about it at first. I was like, well, does he know that that's his sister? But then it was like, how would he have known that? And he never did, obviously. But until that scene where, Caleb comes home, Caleb comes in the hotel room. He's like, oh my God, it's my brother. And he's like, oh. Well, now this is interesting.
Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show?
Oh, not the TV show.
Well, in the TV show, there's a baby that got turned into a vampire by accident. And there's this council meeting of all these vampires. And during the council meeting, the baby vampire's there. Like, this is the baby. And it's illegal in the vampire community, which I think is pretty interesting. But who turned Homer? Is it ever brought up?
She doesn't talk about that. It's not brought up really in the movie, but my first thought was that it had to have been maybe Lance Hendrickson's character, Jesse Hooker. I thought it was maybe him, but that doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Lance Hendrickson, he has a whole backstory that he gave himself to his character of Jesse Hooker. And Catherine Bigelow had no say in it. She didn't know what was going on, but it was like it was during pre-production. Lance called her up and said, so my character was part of the Confederate Navy. He wanted it, she's like, why can't it be Army? He's like, because that doesn't make any sense, and I'll explain why. And it's like, oh, wow. So he says that his ship was being bombed, and then as all the men were during the Civil War, they were being attacked, and as they were all dying, sirens and different serpents were eating the men as they were falling into the water. And he had his chest blown open, and whenever one of the sirens saw him, took pity on him because she didn't want to do a pity kill, she decided to turn him into a vampire. That's the reason why he is who he is. And if you watch closely, inside of his jacket is sewn in the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredibly interesting. And also his hands, so much attention to his detail that Lance Henriksen did. His hands, his fingers were actually prosthetic fingernails that he broke off to make it look like chipped bone almost.
Wow.
Like his bones had outgrown his hands.
That's crazy.
He's the only one that came up with that. And it's so bonkers. And then also the rat tail, which apparently was popular in those times. The Civil War time, not.
Got it.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Even if they cut their hair, it would just grow back to the way it was.
I mean, if you think about it, if there's a world where these things can be immortal and they need blood to subside, there has to be, but the possibility of sirens or other things isn't so far-fetched.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about a world where vampires live and you're like, oh man, there's no way a Frankenstein could be here. It's like, bro.
Now, a lot of people have complained about this, but the blood transfusion at the end, I could care less about it. I like it.
I thought
it's different.
I thought it was good. And Catherine Bigelow talked about this, saying that she got the idea for that from reading Bram Stoker's Dracula. Huh. That they talk about this in the book. And I've never read Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I can't really confirm this. But apparently, according to her, there was a very in-depth look at turning somebody from a vampire back to being human was through a blood transfusion.
Oh. So all these people complaining just haven't read the book.
Could have been.
Yeah, this one guy was just going off. I don't like the romance. I don't like the blood transfusion. But, I mean, the romance makes sense.
Well, there's always going to be romance, especially with vampires. I mean, It's sexy in itself. I mean, you're talking about somebody, in order to bite someone's neck, unless you're going to force yourself, you really have to be romantic with them. So then...
Yeah, and also from a storytelling technique, you need the new guy in with the old troupe.
Or you're not going to have any conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have a group of people running around, and it's like, well, we did have, 30 Days a Night, which was not that bad.
I love that movie. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Listen to that episode. You have to introduce him because then he gets in with the family. They give him a week, Adrian Pazdar. They give him a week to start killing.
Like he's almost like he's given like a probationary period.
It's like at work. You get one strike.
I like how whenever they first grab him though, Bill Paxton, Severin.
So, dude, he's so good.
It's not what's going down; it's coming off.
Yeah, your face.
Love that part.
Yeah, he says that to him, like he's gonna rip off his face. He's like, I'm gonna stomp on your face, like I'm gonna dance on your, tap dance on him.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, I turned him. He's not one of. God damn it!
Yeah, what's going on? What's going off? Your face. Oh, that's so funny, man. Oh, I love that. And I like how all three of them different hunt. Homer plays the little kid who preys on people. May, preys on guys. Bill Paxton dresses up like a cowboy with a gun, gets all slicked up.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I like that. He's like, hey, ladies.
I read something really interesting about Bill Paxton. Someone wrote one of the reviews near dark 30 years later. And they said that he has a very interesting kind of machismo, but that is also fragile. So you think about Aliens. He has this sort of very outwardly macho style, but game over, man. Like he called it.
We're effed.
And then True Lies, he's with Jamie Lee Curtis as super shifty, but then he pees his pants, right?
I love that scene. He takes off the mask.
You have this guy who, even in this one, Severin, I would say he's basically all macho in this, but I do think he's able to pull off some, I mean, he's super brutal, and his costuming and makeup is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Top 3. But he's a super, id, but he's not unbearable. It's interesting how Bill Paxton can walk the line with these kind of characters.
Yeah.
I really like that about him.
I like how he's playful, and he's almost like your goofy uncle, but he could definitely destroy the entire room.
Oh, I love it. And then when he gets in that bar, shit kicker heaven.
Yeah. A lot of those lines were improv that he says.
Oh, I love that.
In the behind the scenes footage, he says that he got those lines like when he attacks the one biker, and he goes, I hate it when they haven't shaved.
Yeah.
It was apparently taken from a lot of the Wild West books that he had growing up.
Oh, that's cool.
And he said that in one of the books was that the gunslinger shoots a guy, and the guy's like down, and he's like, oh, I hate it whenever they ain't been shaved, because it's like showing that the guy was like a bum.
Oh.
So he's like, it was interesting how he implied all those lines, but it's because it was Bill Paxton saying that he envisioned himself as being like a gunslinger almost in this movie.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense. I mean, that's the reason why he had to
square off at the end of the night.
And Catherine Bigelow talks about that, saying like you have to have, in every traditional Western, you have to have the character that has the big shootout in the town square. What happens when they're vampires? She said, well, one of them's got to blow up. It's like, and we get it. Actually, 2 of them blow up.
I love that her and her friend, Catherine Bigelow, and her friend, Eric Red, I believe his name. They wanted to make a Western, but at the time, Fright Night had kicked off. And if you look at all the vampire movies that were coming out around those years, you had Fright Night, Lost Boys, 87, Hunger, Vamp, Once Bitten, Vampire's Kiss, My Best Friend is a Vampire, Life Force, Monster Squad. So they said, why don't you just make a vampire Western? It's pretty interesting spin on that, but they're like, okay, and they got it funded.
I mean, there had only been a handful of vampire Westerns at that point. Most of them were slapstick, like Billy the Kid meets Dracula.
You had Fright Night, but you had the Fright Night kind of brought some meta aspects into it, made the vampires more modern, more fun, kind of in a traditional setting. And then you had Lost Boys, which came out 3 months prior, which I watched this clip where it was Lost Boys versus Near Dark, and I don't even think it's close.
I don't know if you can compare the two. I mean, they have vampires, but that's it. There's not, other than that, it's like...
It's pretty interesting, though. Someone did a breakdown.
Ooh.
Yeah, where, like, the uncle saves them in Fright Night. The dad helps save him in this one. And then in this one, they kind of... like, there's a love story between a vampire woman and a guy. And then she has her terrible family. He has a terrible family. Total coincidence. But it's pretty interesting how they drew those parallels between all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I like how they just turned a Western into a vampire Western. But they kept the elements of the Western. Yeah.
She brought it all the way down to the very... Catherine Bigelow talks about this in the commentary, that she brought that all the way down to the main character on horseback.
Yeah. In the beginning and end, right?
Yeah. She talks about how she actually rode horses ever since she was 6. So she said that she wanted to make a movie with horses in it.
How do you feel? Oh, that's cool.
So she was like, I mean, you could make the movie without horses, but then she was like, but I like horses, and I've ridden horseback for years, so.
Is that why there's so many horses in K-19 Widowmaker and Hurt Locker? Because she loves them? So, now, going back to the bar scene, I was thinking about my favorite vampire attacks, and I think this is in my top 5 of all time. I think you have to add in the Let the Right One In attack on the swimming pool. Or for me, you don't have to.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
You guys don't have to. I did. Then you have From Dusk Till Dawn, the attack at the Titty Twister, which is just brutal and fun and gory and cheeky. And then I also love the 30 Days of Night attack, the bird's eye view specifically, where that guy's running. That's a beautiful shot. It's not that bad. And then this one, I think this is probably in my top 5 of vampire attacks. I would put this... Okay, this sounds weird. I love, okay, the visuals in Let the Right One In and 30 Days a Night are more striking.
They pop more. They look more like a comic book. But this looks more like real life.
Exactly. I would put this at number 1. I don't know, I love it. And we've already talked about it, so we need to hark on it more. But it's very unexpected. He just starts kicking the glasses, he slits the guy's throat.
I love how he just goes up to the bar. Just a little interesting note that the guy who plays the dude at the bar that Bill Paxton talks to is Robert Winley, who most notably is from Terminator 2 whenever he goes. I need your clothes, your boots, your motorcycle. He's like, you forgot to say please, and puts the cigar on him. That's the same guy.
Oh, that's cool.
He actually had a very lucrative career in the 80s and 90s playing bikers and no good guys until he sadly passed away in 2001 from brain cancer.
Now, like our Young Guns podcast, were there any Hells Angels on set?
She doesn't mention that on here, but that would be a very good thing to look at. Her commentary is actually kind of boring, to be honest.
I heard there were a lot of gaps.
There really were. It was about a good solid, sometimes it was like 6-7 minutes before she would say something. It reminded me a lot of the Cobra commentary, where like out of nowhere it was like a 40-minute gap, and then he just starts talking. He's like, gummy bears and Pepsi is my favorite thing to have while I'm watching a movie. I'm like, wait, what? I forgot I was watching the commentary.
Have you listened to the Total Recall commentary?
No.
Oh, dude, it's Verhoeven and Schwarzenegger.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
So good. I could do a podcast dedicated to DVD commentaries. I mean, crap. So, what else were you going? Like,
oh no, yeah, I was going to say that scene when Bill Paxton goes in there. The only thing I had an issue with was that they played Fever by the Cramps, and as you know, I'm a massive fan of the Cramps.
You're a fan of having cramps?
I'm a big fan of the band.
When you walked in here, they were like, I ate 20 minutes ago. I can't run.
Stop asking me to swim in a pool.
Because before every podcast, we run a mile.
Yeah.
I can't do it today. Had a hoagie. It's a Subway sandwich.
Forgot to eat fresh. But no, I'm a big fan of the band The Cramps. But I like the song Fever. I just feel like it wasn't good for that moment. I think the better song would have been from the same album, which would have been The Mad Daddy. Or Mystery Plane. Mystery Plane probably would have been a little bit better.
Well, do you now, Chris?
Yeah, well. or what's behind that? You know,
hey, Bigelow.
I'm going to call you like 35 years low. You know how many years it's been their KB? All right.
Director, 2 words. Director's cut.
I thought she would mention about why she chose that music for that scene, and she doesn't. And she just says, "Ah, yes, Fever by the Cramps."
No,
I was
brother.
like, that's it. And I was like, well, is there any reason why you chose that song? I mean, I didn't think it was a very good choice, but you know, it's either here or there. But I really loved his spurs.
Kicks his throat open.
It's just everywhere he jumps over, and it's like all over. I loved how the blood looked on Severin's face and his chest. It looked so sloppy, but at the same time so clean, and it was like, ugh.
Remember the VHS cover of this?
It's the same. It's the cover where it's right after he got hit by the truck, right?
Yeah, where he's just looking all crazy.
Yeah, I was considering it had been close to 20 years, probably if not more than that. Was the last time I saw this. I was like, doesn't that scene happen like early in the movie? And then I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense. But it had been forever.
I love when a hole gets blown. So they're shooting through there's a shootout at the hotel. They're shooting holes through the cheap walls.
Yeah,
sunlight's coming in and burning the living daylights out of the vampires.
So it's like the holes are doing more damage than the actual bullets.
And Burt Paxton?
That's his cousin.
His brother's stunt double. Burt Paxton. Done all the stunts for Bill since 1984.
Phil, and Burt.
Have you seen Mighty Joe Young? You know when I took that tumble down the cliff? That wasn't Bill. That was good old Burt. And Twister, I went and ran with tornadoes. It injured me. So our brother Hank had to do stunts for Bill. We Paxtons. But Bill got a hole shot through him, and then that was awesome looking, dude.
Yeah, he gets shot, and then the sun hits him as well.
And that's cool.
That's a cool shot. You know what's also interesting about that?
About Burt.
The whole crew actually went through a boot camp, or sorry, not boot camp. I don't want to say that word a million times, but they went through a training session with these weapons because specifically Jesse Hooker, Lance Henriksen, he shoots a Desert Eagle. So that thing has a kick.
Yeah, you need to train with that.
So when she talks about this in the podcast, I mean, not in the podcast, on the commentary.
Yeah, the podcast we recorded last week with them.
You weren't here? So she talks about how they did a training with all the weapons to show that whenever they shoot, they kick because they're obviously using blanks. So they're showing them shooting these various different weapons and they're showing them the kicks that they actually went through. So it would look more realistic. And she said that she wanted to put that in the movie because it adds more realism to it.
The kick?
Yeah, well, it does.
I guess even if you're if you're a really strong vampire, there's going to be a kick from a Desert Eagle.
Of course. Blow your arm off. Jesus.
I love those movies where they have two Desert Eagles in their hands and they're spinning in circles and just nailing everybody and there's no kick.
Do you ever read, what was that? Wasn't that the vampire book was Christopher Moore's You Suck?
No.
Oh yeah, there's a scene where he has a Desert Eagle and he's like hunting in the sewers and he goes to shoot the gun and he doesn't realize how much of a kick or how loud it is in a sewer specifically. And he talks about how he shoots it and almost takes his arm off and he's disoriented from the sound because it would be deafeningly loud.
In a sewer.
In a sewer. I mean, it just, I couldn't imagine. Can you imagine being in that room shooting that scene though at the hotel with all the bullets flying?
It'd be crazy.
You'd be like deaf.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
So many squibs and blanks and... Now, speaking of random things, but I like that movie Jack Reacher where Tom Cruise gets attacked by those guys with the baseball bat and they're trying to hit him in a bathtub and they get wedged together and he pulls back the bat and hits a guy in the head. Then he tries to hit him in the bathtub, but he ends up hitting the porcelain. It's a really funny fight. It's how I feel like a fight scene would actually go down in the real world. That's why I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I like when there's more realistic fights in movies.
Yeah, I mean, like when The Rock is fighting people and it's just... He's taking one. He to give him one. No, he just crushes people. Never mind.
He just like obliterates them.
Now, why does the truck explode?
Well, it's jackknifed because remember, they talk about this in the.
Sorry. This is the big fight scene between Severin and Adrian Pasdar.
Yeah.
And Bill Paxton gets run over by the truck, pops up, starts ripping out the guts of the truck. And Pasdar jumps out.
Well, he jacks it because he talks about that briefly. It's this very small scene whenever Caleb and May get picked up by a truck driver. Remember?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, don't press that. You're going to jackknife my truck."
Yep.
So apparently, Catherine Bigelow says that she put that in there so that we would know that he would know to do this later.
Oh, that's cool. But then why does it explode?
I don't know why it would explode.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't really make much sense. It does. I mean, it would definitely stop.
Like, do they have self-destruct?
That's the other button that they have in the truck.
Yeah. Boop. That's so cool. That makeup effect.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, and the people who did the makeup on this, but also the people who worked on this. There's some big talent behind the scenes. I also love, did she talk about this where they basically said to Catherine Bigelow, a producer, I'm going to be on set watching the dailies, and if they suck, you're getting fired in the first week.
That's some
BS, dude.
Edward Feldman. Well, I mean, to be fair with him, he did just get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
I mean, that I don't think that he was probably interested in someone tarnishing his name, but he did a pretty good job for them later on in life with Golden Child and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Yeah, and like the cinematographer, or where do I have his name?
Yeah, Alan Greenberg.
Yeah, Alan Greenberg. That dude has quite the resume.
He started in 1963.
His last movie was Snakes on a Plane, though.
He did 4 movies in 1987 alone.
Wow. I mean,
isn't that nuts?
This one was a cheap movie to make. It was $2.5 million.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I hate that it got buried, too, because De Laurentiis Entertainment Group went, and then they couldn't fund it.
They talk about that too, but on the DVD, like she said that a lot of it probably had to do with The Lost Boys coming out just a couple of months prior. And I'm like, yes and no. It's kind of like if they made, not off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything in recent times, but usually when two types of films that are very similar come out back to back, the one doesn't do that well.
No, you're right. And it needed more saxophone. But that Greenberg, though, he shot T2.
Yeah.
And Ghost.
And Terminator 1.
Yeah. And he worked a lot with Schwarzenegger, Collateral Damage. So she had a really good cinematographer. And then she had, Stephen Altman, the production designer. He also did, Grosse Pointe Blank, Hot Rod, Gosford Park. But I really liked the costuming in this movie. And the really sort of, you feel the grit. That's what I like about Catherine Bigelow movies. You watch Point Break, you sort of feel the ocean.
Yeah.
You watch
Hurt Locker.
You have sand in your mouth when you're done with it.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Zero Dark 30, I was sweaty. So these movies, K-19, I felt like I was in a submarine. So I like the movie. I like how you feel the heat. I thought the costumes were perfect.
They were
perfect.
I loved how Bill Paxton talked about it, saying that he wanted to look like Jim Morrison. Yeah, which I don't know if you got that vibe from him.
Oh, totally.
But that's exactly what he was trying to go for.
Oh, that's cool. And Diamondback, she looked awesome.
She looked great, and it was very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple outfit. Lance Henderson said that he wanted to have his outfit be more like he had been stuck almost in that time. So he's wearing almost like a Civil War battlefield jacket.
Oh.
Which is the reason why he had, like I said earlier, he has the flag the flag inside of his jacket. And what added to that was that Lance Henriksen starved himself for like, I think it said almost a month in order to get into the role of that. Because he wanted to look like how, if he was in Civil War where he wasn't eating.
Oh.
And he wanted to show his bones in his chest. So if you watch it again, you can see that his shirt's always open. And you can see the bones in his chest.
That's cool. And Homer is just like the little punk that he is, I guess. He's just
He's
like
probably
a little punk.
He's probably always a little bastard.
I do like that scene though where Homer's jamming out to the song in the bar.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But I think this is one of those movies that it's good. This isn't just a good horror picture, right? I think this is a good movie.
I think it's just an all-around solid film. I think it may it lost a little steam over the years, probably mainly because I think that when people think of the 80s, they think of like these cheesy movies or with cheesy music, like License to Drive, which I love that movie. But at the same time, that's what people think of.
Then Lost Boys with its soundtrack.
Exactly. And it's a dynamite soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Still good to this day.
I was so happy that you didn't say anything about the Tangerine Dream.
It's great.
Store. Okay, I just got there. My wife just got me for my birthday.
Oh, it's a store?
The Sorcerer. What?
Tangerine Dream's a store?
Score.
Oh, I think it said store.
Yeah,
I was like,
I've got a new shirt.
Like, what?
It's orange. You got orange pants, orange socks, orange shoes. I'm all orange right now. Sorcerer.
I'm going hunting in an hour.
Sorcerer. Yeah, no, they'll see me. I'm gonna go work on the highway. So I got the Sorcerer Tangerine Dream soundtrack. That's Friedkin. It's awesome. Got the vinyl.
I still have yet to see that movie.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I know.
How about this? Let's take a break. I'm going to spoil Sorcerer for you. And when we get back, we'll talk more Near Dark. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I got to ask you a question, Chris. Who here has had... So, in this movie, we have Bill Paxton. And we have Lance Henriksen. Why am I talking like this?
Adrian Pasder.
So... Both have been killed by predators. So Henriksen was killed in AVP. Bill Paxton was killed in Predator 2. And then you had aliens. So, he wasn't... Well, I guess technically he was killed by an alien because he dies.
Well, he's not a person, though.
But, I mean, you can get decommissioned.
He didn't get decommissioned, though, because he comes back in part 3.
Does... Oh, she brings him up?
Yeah, remember?
All right, so he gets really messed up by an alien. And so does Bill Paxton. And then the Terminator. But I don't think the Terminator kills Paxton, because Paxton just gets thrown against a wall. We don't see Lance get shot, but presumably he gets lit up by about 40 bullets.
Doesn't Bill Paxton gets punched through the stomach, though, in the first Terminator, doesn't he?
I thought he just gets punched in the stomach, then he flies backwards into a fence.
I thought he punches him through the stomach, and then he just kind of drops him.
Maybe that's it.
It's kind of like that thing with Friday the 13th Part 6, when you don't see the guy actually die, just that he gets shoved to death.
Yeah.
Just like the mean push.
Jason walks up and slugs me in the shoulder. Is he dead or is he faking dead? I don't know.
His arm's pretty bruised.
I would fake death. If Jason Voorhees punched me in the arm, I'd be like, I'm dead! He's not smart. He wouldn't get it.
He'd be like, he really did die. He said it.
Dang.
Missed another one.
Jason's talking to his buddies. I killed a guy by punching him in the arm.
Like, man, Jason, you've been slinging that shit since part 3.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Like, Jason, you killed a guy by punching a guy in the arm. Yeah, you said it. I'm dead.
You said the same shit about Ken Foree in part 3, man.
Oh, Ken Foree.
Yeah.
That dude's good.
He's always good. He's great writers. Everything that he does.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever made a bad movie.
Nope. See? I was going to make up a stupid one, but I can't even sully his name.
See?
Like that. So you did a really deep dive into this movie. Drop some data on me here, Chris.
Well, a few things I found were interesting was that the cinematographer, Alan Greenberg, said flat out, because we had mentioned about how Catherine Bigelow was a female director, and a lot of these actors was their first time working with a female director. And Bill Paxton had said that the reason why he wanted to sign on immediately was because he got tired of like the macho behavior of male directors.
Well, that hasn't changed in 30 years.
It really hasn't. So he said he wanted to work with Catherine Bigelow because he felt that she was a little bit more relaxed, a little more calm. Which, I mean, if you listen to her voice is very kind of neutral. She doesn't sound like she gets worked up a lot about things. What I thought was really interesting was everybody was talking about how they loved working with Catherine Bigelow, and the first thing they thought of was like, oh my God, it's great. She's, it's a female director. She was really nice, really good, really relaxed. Alan Greenberg, who's a cinematographer, flat out goes, I had zero faith in her because she had no directing credits other than something that happened 6 years prior, and she co-directed it.
Yeah, she did not have much of a resume.
She didn't. She really didn't, which was interesting because the producers really weren't too happy to hand out money, which explains why the minimal budget that it did have. But it's just because she had no credits really, and she did the damn it, why can't I remember the name of the movie? But the movie she did in 1981 with Willem Dafoe, but that was co-written and co-directed. So it's like I can understand why people weren't too happy to like want to just hand out and work with her, because what are you going to base it on?
That's kind of crazy to me, because you have you have the guy who directed Safety Not Guaranteed, Colin Trevorrow. He directed an indie, and then they gave him Jurassic World. And then you have the dude that made The Kings of Summer. Then he went and made Kong Skull Island.
Well, as we do know with those movies, those directors aren't really directing.
Producer driven.
Exactly. And if you look up who's producing it, it's like, yeah, you could throw any name on there. And they probably paid for these guys with minimal. And they probably tell them, like, basically, if this movie sucks, who cares? No one's going to know your name anyways.
I was really happy to learn about Mary Lambert directing Pet Sematary in 89.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen King handpicked her, and they were actually able to shoot in Maine. And she said it was a really great experience. No one was on her back. But she was established. She had directed Madonna.
Yeah.
She was huge in
that's
the
a
music video
different.
world. Yeah, I guess it is. But I don't know. I don't know. I love the confidence in this movie. I mean, this is a second-time director, right? First time solo. But just the confidence that she had in letting the camera linger. There's really great shots in this. I think it was...
And a lot of that did happen to come with, Adam Greenberg, because, how many movies he did? I can't remember how many movies, but he basically been working for nearly 25 years at this point.
When he's on set, does he walk around? We developed a director of photography who never stands. Put me on the dolly.
But... he did have some credits underneath his belt, as we discussed earlier. Yeah. He did Terminator, but he also did Once Bitten, and he also did Iron Eagle, La Bamba, and then he did, this.
Oh, dude worked.
So it's like he really did do a lot of movies, and he did do a lot of, impressive shots, too. He also did 3 Men and a Baby, and the sequel, 3 Men and a Little Lady.
Hey.
I'm interested in seeing if he's going to do the next one. It was they're doing a third one.
Are they? I
think it's 3 Men and a Little Bride or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh.
But it's whenever she gets married. But it's at this point, she would. I don't know. That makes sense.
When did the movie take place?
Well, it would have to take place in now, because it would...
Well, when was it released?
The first one?
Yeah.
87.
Oh, so...
It would make sense. She would be 30.
32?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Dude! Yeah. They gonna bring back the cast?
That's what I read. That they were talking about doing that, I think it was last year.
That's basically Mamma Mia, though, because she has 3 dads. Well, Mamma Mia ripped off. Mamma Mia. No, Mamma Mia did not rip off 3 Men and a Baby. Sorry, I'm
you
just saying
take that back.
Yeah, I love. Actually, the second Mamma Mia, I enjoyed deeply. I love that movie. But I know that's a good idea. That'd be a good Netflix type movie.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it if they do. I love those movies. I saw them not that long ago again. I think it was a year ago. I watched them both again. They're very enjoyable movies.
Now, also, did you like the mosquito squishing in the beginning?
What's interesting about that? Yes, I did. But what's interesting about that was that mosquito was specifically grown for this movie. It took them 6 months.
That's crazy.
Because it had to be disease-free.
Couldn't have any funk.
Well, it couldn't be diseased, because what if it, gave him malaria?
Yeah. Well, Lance Hendrickson. No, I'm joking. No, the kid, Adrian Pazdar.
Adrian Pazdar died before he had a chance to actually be his thing.
And she also said she wanted to get away from the gothic glamour of the vampire movies. And I think that's another wise choice, because I love Fright Night. But the dude bought a mansion. He has an assistant. Yeah, very rich. He's
ballin'.
Yeah, The Hunger. Tony Scott, very rich vampires.
She says that she wanted to present vampirism as basically being a drug addict.
Yeah,
and it shows. And that was one of the other things that I looked at was that it was that these people were in love, but they were vampires, but they're junkies. So they're hitting the streets to do whatever they can to get their drug, and their drug of choice is blood.
I thought that was interesting. She said the consequences of love and attraction too. So you can be really attracted with someone, fall in love with them immediately. Then you got to get to know them.
Yeah, right. That would be terrible, wouldn't it?
I love you. You're a vampire. Great. Oh man, your family's terrible. But that's interesting. Yeah. And then there's never vampire teeth in this movie.
And the word vampire is never said.
Never said. They use the word Nosferatu. No, they don't.
You are him, Nosferatu.
Count Orlok, Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe. He played Orlok in Shadow of a Vampire.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
That's one. We should cover that on the pod.
I'm game. I'm totally game to do that. I love that movie.
Let's do it.
Deal.
All right, that movie. That's one of my favorites.
I've seen that movie. I bought that. Now you know what? I'm gonna save it for the pod.
Yep. Give me the writer.
So man. You are a vampire. He reaches up and grabs the bat. Okay.
He got nominated for an Academy Award, I believe. Willem Dafoe did for that. Yeah. All right, wait, save it for the pot.
I was gonna, some more little things to note in this. That the movie does take place in Oklahoma. Don't know if you caught that. It was originally supposed to be shot in Oklahoma, but the day before they were going to fly all the crew out to Oklahoma to film, there was a massive flood that took out all their sets.
Jeez Louise.
And they had to quickly think of somewhere else to go. Arizona was the next place. And since Arizona was at the time and kind of now still a hot place to record, to film movies, they had a bunch of sets that were readily available.
Nice.
And that's how they got that. But it was originally supposed to be in Oklahoma. Okay. And they shot this movie in 47 days.
Really?
40 of those days were overnight.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And it was shot... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go for it.
It's supposed to take place in the summer, but it was shot in the late fall... fall to winter time.
It gets cold out there at night.
Oh. But she talks about that in the commentary about how they had to put ice cubes in their mouths so that they would... Remember when we talked about in Valley Girl? And then they spit them out right before they do a take.
I think I saw breath once in the movie.
One specific time is during the initiation scene with Caleb when he chases down the guy.
Yeah.
And he eventually grabs him and he's like about to bite him and you can see his breath and then he just lets him go.
Yeah. They couldn't have ice in his mouth for that long.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked out. One thing to add on to that, the bar scene, Bill Paxton said in the behind the scenes footage of it, he said that it was his first time he did B12. So if you've never done B12 before or took a shot of it, it's basically like getting a lot of caffeine all at once. Yeah. It's great for you, especially no matter what diet you have. I think everybody should take a B12 supplement. But they
go to www.chriskelly.com. Chris Kelly's B12.
Bill Paxton said,
type in www.chriskelly.com/MFF for 10% off your B12.
Bill Paxton talks about that he had never done B12 before and he wanted to be jacked up for the scene. He's supposed to be drinking blood and then it's supposed to be like, he's full of life. So he did a shot of B12 and he said, boy, I was flying. He was like, that's where all of his memorable, a lot of his memorable moments, he's like, oh my God, running all. You can tell after he has the blood and it's like, he's just jacked running around. And how did he keep that energy up? B12.
What? Okay. What's the longest you've ever done night shoots?
It was when I was doing Goosebumps and Finding Carter season 1.
At the same time?
Yeah, because I was day playing on both of those. So when I wasn't on one show, I was on the other. And that was nights for, I think it was 3 months. No, it was an entire summer. It was from, I want to say late May to mid-August.
Oh, I was only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, 2.5 weeks because I shifted over to main unit.
I've done an entire month on nights last year.
I have a ton of respect for Ernest Dickerson. So you listen to the Tales from the Crypt podcast that we released. He said, no, I'm not putting my crew through 40 nights. We're building a set. And then they built a set in a massive airplane hangar. And then the problem was pigeons got in there and they had to wait for the pigeons to shut up between each take.
Yeah, they shoot a shotgun and then they'd settle for a couple of minutes.
That gave me a lot of respect for him because night shoots...
It's hell on you.
It's hell.
There's no way to describe it unless if you do it. And it's like if you do an entire week like that, you just feel terrible. I mean, you can't do anything after work, and it takes you literally the same amount of time it took for you to do the nights. It took the same amount of time to get over it. You just can't, and it's terrible.
That Game of Thrones, right? Yeah, we did 5 nights or 5 months or something of nights. And I'm thinking, you guys are jerks putting your crew through that.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
Unless you absolutely have to, I don't see a point in doing it.
Yeah.
I know that some people feel like they have to do nights, or they're like, oh, we're going to rearrange the schedule because of something else. No. I'm sorry, that's just dumb. And it's like you're killing your crew because it's not just 1 or 2 people. You're
killing your crew.
Yeah, it's the entire crew.
Yeah. I remember I was working on it and I didn't know it was going to be nights when I got hired and signed everything. Then I got told. And I had just so I did a Comic-Con, which I was away for 5 days. Then I had to pack up my bags and go away for 2 weeks. And then when I got done with those 2 weeks, I had to go to another Comic-Con. So that meant I was going to see my, I think, fiance, Megan, wife now, for 4 weeks. So I would drive home some of those. So when we got off at work in the morning, I would drive home just to see her and say hi. and then she would have to go to work, and then I'd sleep for a few hours and drive all the way back out to set. I mean, it's crazy.
That's rough, but I'm sure she probably really appreciated it.
But also, well, I appreciate it. Like, you need sanity on some of these things.
Yeah, and it's if you're working these bonkers hours,
how the hell am I going to sleep in a hotel room anyway? I don't know, during the day. You're not. And so, especially the first week.
Wait. No, I did. When I did Rampage, we had to do that.
Yeah.
Because we were shooting overnight, and then our hotel rooms were there. But then again, that was about 2 hours away from Atlanta, so I couldn't very well drive back, especially at like 7 in the morning. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, traffic.
Oh, God.
Oh, I fought traffic to get back, too. Ugh. But I don't know, man. It's just shoots like these that you need to... Like, I'm serious. You need to get some sanity. You need to have something else outside of the film world sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
Otherwise, you just... I don't know, man. That's
or you just go crazy.
Yeah.
And you just wouldn't know what to do.
I did like those nights, though, because I was really busy on second unit. We had a ton of stuff to do.
That's good.
So... It wasn't just set up a car. Like, you and I have sat... We probably drank 8 coffees that day. Wasn't it? It was like 95 degrees.
That was 129.
Yeah.
I saw the
heat index.
A friend of mine did a flashback and had a picture of the thermometer that they had on set that day, and he said it's like flashback or throwback Thursday to 2015. I was like, God damn!
And you and I were drinking coffee on that for some stupid reason,
sweating.
Yeah, and then sweating, standing out there. But what I guess the point was, we waited for one car to drop, and then they put another car up. So all day we worked 8 minutes.
Yeah, maybe more or less. I think
we just had to clear everyone out.
The most of it was handing out the walkies and then getting everybody's paperwork at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that was it. But other than that, it was just kind of like, okay, this car is going to fall. Move.
You had work in the morning, walkies, right? And then you had, all right, everybody back up. And glass still went flying.
Yeah, it went everywhere.
And then we had paperwork, or putting stuff away. So we had hour of work and 14 hours. We drank a lot of coffee. But
it was.
On that shoot, man, it was just like we had a smaller crew. One night I had like 40 monsters to get ready. So I think that also helped me kind of keep me sane too. It's just there wasn't on these night shoots when you're just standing there. That's when you really kind of go a little crazy. But when you're just working through.
Yeah, when you're constantly moving. It's like that on any set though. Yeah. If you're constantly moving, then you don't really feel like you're just standing there.
And there was another set. It was air conditioned, but you and I just did stuff.
Still drink coffee.
We did stuff on the morning, and then we sat around drinking coffee, and then we did a little bit of stuff at night. A lot of coffee drinking.
Still doing it to this day. This is actually from that set.
You came here and we had coffee. You showed up and I immediately had coffee.
I showed up with a cup of coffee and asked for another cup of coffee.
Yeah, and Mark, more. But the guy Eric Red who did this, he also wrote Hitcher, which kind of has the same... Great movie too. Oh yeah, Rutger Hauer, man. I'm doing Lady Hawk coming up, that podcast. Ooh. Looking forward to that. And he also wrote Alien 3, and he wrote Blue Steel too.
And Body Parts.
Yeah. I like Alien 3. Now, I know David Fincher's disavowed it or doesn't want it in his life.
I don't know why. I watched that about a month ago. That's still good. I thought it was a great film. I don't see why I've read a lot of people didn't like that, but I very much enjoyed it.
I'm going to make a movie that's beautiful, and I'm just going to say it sucked. And everyone's going to be confused by it. Like, wait, what does he mean?
He's so artistic.
Also, I think that this movie has the best truck hit since Ernest Scared Stupid. Remember when the truck destroys the troll and then it hits Severin in this one?
Oh, yeah.
And doesn't he yell, fasten your seatbelt? So he gets hit by the truck, he climbs up, fasten your seatbelt.
He goes, fasten your fucking seatbelt.
What do you think about Homer's death?
He just blows up. You know what's...
I didn't see that coming.
So you didn't see that coming?
So
come on.
When he started burning, I thought he was just going to fall and turn to ash. I mean, he's just sprinting and then just a literal...
I saw that coming.
Oh, that was
And then everybody blowing up in the car. I was like, it has to happen. You know what's interesting? Catherine Bigelow said that that was like towards the end of filming. And she said that the entire town showed up, basically. Because there was a small town of like a couple thousand people. Yeah. And she said they showed up to watch them do this scene. And they had no idea what was going to happen. And she said behind the camera, you could just see like hundreds of people behind them, like townspeople with their fold-out chairs and stuff. And then they did this big explosion. They were like, whoa!
It's always in the small towns. I was doing a thing in Sonoya, which is next to The Walking Dead. We were doing a Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, I think.
Sounds right.
And we were doing a promo.
We exploded the dress.
Blew up the dress! But we had about 50 people watching. And I'm like, guys, this isn't Walking Dead. This is a commercial. And they're like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy said. And then we just filmed all day. They stood there. We rapped. They left.
They're probably like, oh man, nothing happened.
I was doing that Jay Mansfield's car, and there was probably 300 people one night just lined up. Wow. And maybe in small towns, everyone just kind of comes out. Maybe in big cities too.
Sometimes. I mean, it depends. I filmed in all different areas, so it's just kind of like, some people just kind of see it as a thing. Other people see it as a distraction, and they hate it.
Yeah,
those are the worst. Because then they're like, get the F out of my way. And they'll like push you, and you're like, oh, come on.
You don't want the town angry at you.
Yeah, Bill Paxton talks about that actually on the behind-the-scenes footage, and he said that whenever they had their time off, Lance Henriksen and Bill Paxton would drive around, and Lance Henriksen wanted to stay in character as Jesse Hooker. And he talks about that. They said that they got pulled over by a cop, and that Lance Henriksen was kind of like looking at him. He said lustfully, and Lance Henriksen said lustfully is the way he says it whenever he's watching the cop write him out a speeding ticket. Because he said that cop pulls him over for speeding. They were going, I think he said it was like 80 or something like that in a 45.
Oof.
And then the cop says, "Do you know how fast you're going?" And he says, "Yeah." It was like 80 miles an hour. And he's like, Bill Paxton was like, I was like, come on, man, be cool. Don't do anything stupid. We're in their town. I don't want to cause any bad blood or anything. And he said that he did. I forget what he said that he did, but he like kind of snaps at him or something. He did kind of like a teeth thing. He just kind of like snapped his teeth or something like that at the cop, and the cop jumped back and put his hands on the revolver. He said he scared him so much that he did that. So he's like, gets his hand in the ticket. And he's like, "Get out of here, you Hollywood freaks,
you derelicts."
Yeah. So then he drove off. But what was interesting was that Lance Henriksen talks about how whenever they moved the production from Oklahoma to Arizona, Lance Henriksen opted to not fly but to drive.
Hey.
And he wanted to test out the character of Jesse Hooker on hitchhikers.
He scared some people.
He scared the shit out of some people. Yeah. According to him, he said he picked up one guy, and he talks about it in the on the behind the scenes that he was picked up the guy, and then he didn't ask him. He told him to roll him a cigarette. He said the whole time he was like yelling at him, like, "You call that a cigarette? Put more tobacco in that." And he said, and he hands him the guy, finishes the cigarette, hands it to him. He takes a puff. And then he throws it out the window and says, "You call that a cigarette? That's too much tobacco." So he was like testing the guy. He said he did this for a couple of miles, and he just wanted to see what he's like. He's like, luckily the guy didn't, beat the shit out of me, because he said he was about twice his size. But he was so freaked out by Lance Henriksen because he had all full makeup that he was wearing in the movie. So he had his hands all weird, the fingernails coming out.
Jeez Louise.
He looked dirty. He still had all. So the guy was very scared of him, and he said that at the end of it he kind of laughed and said, "Hey, I'm an actor. I'm just working on a character. I'll give here's some money for your trouble."
He gave him $50 or something.
Yeah, something like that. It was like whatever was in his pocket. He gave him a couple of bucks, and then he was like, "Sorry, man. Sorry about your troubles." They dropped him off, but it was like he said he did that a few times when he was driving to Arizona.
I'd put up with an angry Lance Henriksen for $85.
I think it would depend on how many miles we're talking. But then again, if I was hitchhiking, I probably wouldn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, you're right.
Another interesting thing, something interesting I read about was the character of Caleb, Adrian Pasdar. He started out in sports. He went to the University of Florida, where he was part of the football team, and then he got injured badly. He had to quit school. He went back to Pennsylvania, which was where his father had moved him whenever he was 2. He started working at the People's Light and Theater Company, working in light and construction, until he accidentally cut off half of his finger. And then that pushed him to be an actor.
Hey, that's interesting.
So if it weren't for the injury, because it was almost like I read it as it was fate, him telling him to be an actor.
Because he was finger.
Really good in football. Then he's in an injury that makes him quit school. That causes him to quit school. So he's like, I'm going to get a job in construction and lighting. Cuts off half of his finger. And they're like, he took the medical compensation for that to attend Lee Strasberg's Theater Institute. And then while he was there, he auditioned for a small role in Top Gun. And then Tony Scott liked him so much that he decided to write the character of Chipper for him.
That's cool.
And that's how he got started. And he's doing really well.
Yeah, Heroes. He does a lot of voice work.
Oh, yeah. He's most notably for Iron Man. He does a lot of voice work for Marvel.
I want that job. Never leave my house.
Oh, God. He's killing it.
Hey, Tony Stark, watch out for the Hulk. Write me my check. The kid Homer wrote The Final Girls.
Yeah, I did read that. He was also Tom Atkins' son in Halloween 3.
Joshua Miller. Really?
Yeah.
That
was his first role. And the one that River's Edge was the movie that Catherine Bigelow saw, that she said in the documentary that she thought that he was an old soul in a young body.
Well, that's cool. You kind of see that. And then what do you think about the insinuation that Severn and Jesse, that they started the Chicago fire?
Yeah. Oh, God. I forget what he says. But yeah, it's just kind of what he says right there.
Yeah. Do you remember that about a fire they had started in Chicago? So if they started that was 1871. That left like 100,000 people homeless and destroyed businesses. It's kind of crazy.
Think of all that blood, though.
I love, and I want to make a movie where I just say, throw in a really weird line. So you have this movie, and then someone's like, I invented dinosaurs. And then they just keep going.
Like, you know that hair can't be fossilized. So who's to say dinosaurs didn't have hair?
And then later on, people... Well, like, wait, did these guys start the Chicago Fire? Did he invent dinosaurs? Has this vampire been around since dinosaurs?
We keep late hours.
Yeah.
That's a great line.
Any recommendations?
Oh, yeah. I did write down a handful of
do you have a few more things to drop on me? That was the longest I've ever seen. That's impressive. I like it.
I do have a lot of stuff written down, but I think I covered it all.
Sounds good. Yeah, it doesn't work for us because we go all over the place.
Oh,
it's kind of hard.
Sorry, I did want to add this. In the Washington Post, a review of this movie in May 5th, 1988 by Hal Henson, he said that as it goes, Near Dark is a story about teenage passion that lasts for an eternity. The only problem is that vampire love has a lot in common with junkie love, the nightlife. It seems an exact high price.
Hey,
which I thought was a very accurate way to talk about this movie.
Good job.
That was it. I mean, there was another article that I read, but they didn't. I don't think they watched the movie when I read it. It was, I don't know what was going on in the 80s, but if you listen to if you read a lot of reviews in the 80s, unless they're done by somebody who's very well known for movie reviews, they don't really make much sense, and they're usually only a couple of paragraphs. And it's like I read one about this movie, and the lady was like, "Oh yeah," and then there was a truck crashed, and for some reason the guy blew up, and I was like, did you watch the movie? Did you know this movie was about vampires? It's kind of an interesting...
They watched the trailer.
Yeah, there's a lot of I noticed that especially with Major League as well. It's just like they go, oh well, Bull Durham was better, and you're like, well, do you not know that you just kind of go with movies?
Yeah.
But it just I thought it was interesting how they very much summarized the movie in one small sentence.
Lame.
Beautifully though.
All right, so we got some things here. I guess we're going to talk... They're from various streaming platforms, correct? Like Shudder, Vudu, Netflix, or...
Yes, all of them. Oh, also, to add really quick about Near Dark, I haven't found it anywhere to stream.
Nowhere.
For some reason. When I went on IMDb, it did say it was on Amazon Prime, but I went on Amazon Prime and it wasn't there. But if you are interested in watching this movie, you can go to and you live in Atlanta, go to Videodrome, check it out. They have the 2-disc double edition. And when I went to go rent it, they reminded me that they did showcase this at the Plaza in downtown Atlanta. They were like, oh, were you there? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't get a chance to make it. I think I was working.
Well, we came up with it. You sent me a text. I was like, let's pod about it.
Yeah,
let's record an episode.
That's actually how we came up with the pod with this, because I wanted to go see it, but I couldn't because I was working, and I was like, oh, son of a gun. But the guy was like, oh, yeah, this is the 2-disc special edition. So they do have a really good special edition of Near Dark at the Plaza.
Go get it.
And I got some recommendations. I didn't know if you wanted to do the theme song or not.
Chris Keller recommendations. He picks movies for you to watch. You better watch them because he recommended them. Chris Keller.
So our first movie, which is it's kind of
you love that theme song.
Yeah, I do. The other one was like Chris Keller recommendation. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was like full Tenacious D. I went Tenacious D on that one.
It's kind of hard to talk about a vampire Western film without bringing up one that came out recently, which was A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great movie. It was first-time director Anna Lily Amirpour. It was based on her short film that she made from previous years in the past. She did make short films. She didn't do anything dynamic, but her first big film is this. That's streaming on Shudder. The basic premise is that there's a character just called the Girl who stalks this town called Bad City, where it's filled with a lot of drug dealing, a lot of prostitution, a lot of bad things that happen. And there's the girl who is a vampire, and she's stalking various people.
That's great.
And she falls in love with one of the characters. And that's a beautiful scene too, especially when she's playing the records for him. It's just like, it's really cute. And then the end scene with the cat. It's just the whole movie is very well done. It was shot in black and white, which is not a very common thing for movies. Nowadays movies, they usually shoot them in color, then they'll filter it in black and white, which is not really doesn't usually work. But you have to, shooting in black and white is a very specific art form, at least in my opinion.
Well, Del Toro wanted to do it for Shape of Water. He realized it was too expensive and easier just to shoot it in color.
That's interesting. I don't know if that movie would have been better. I didn't really like that
He's obsessed with Creature from the Black Lagoon, so aesthetically, he wanted to make it like that, but he realized it was just easier. Because you have to light it, paint it.
Oh, yeah. It's a completely different art form. And I don't think people really quite understand that with black and white versus color, it's two different platforms. It's like, it is literally night and day.
Good Night and Good Luck. They did some really cool stuff to get it black and white. It's neat.
Oh yeah, great movie too. But yeah, she Anna Lily Amirpour. If you listen to any interviews with her about the movie, I don't know what she was doing at the time when the movie came out, but she's very kind of like strung out the whole time. A lot of she referred to A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night as watching fungus grow in reverse in slow motion. So I'm not quite sure what she's also. I saw a lot of on other interviews with her, and she just is making noises.
She followed that up with The Bad Batch, so maybe that's
that movie. Yeah, but
it's memorable.
It's okay, I guess.
Cannibalism. She's
also doing the remake of Cliffhanger. That's her newest movie. Which I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm a big time fan of that movie.
Have you listened to the episode we did for it?
You did it a while ago.
It'll change your life.
It was a good one. Really? Changed my life.
Yep.
Say, look,
you love Cliffhanger now.
See?
Jeez.
Also, it was interesting. I did talk about her movie when it first came out, and she actually commented and liked my comment.
Hey, now.
About it.
Hey.
Whoa. The next movie was Bill Pullman classic from 1990. Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton in Brain Dead.
Brain Dead?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has ever seen this movie, but I remember if you've seen the cover, you would know exactly what it is because everybody has seen this cover. Anyone who's over the age of 25 probably.
Are you talking Peter Jackson?
No, that's Dead Alive.
Oh, Dead Alive.
It was originally called Brain Dead, though.
Yeah.
You are correct.
New Zealand.
It was, yeah, because my brother had that, actually.
Yeah.
He had the bootleg version of it, which opens up with the monkey, and then they have to cut off the guy's limbs. Bill Pullman plays a top neurosurgeon in brain issues causing mental illness, and he meets up with his old college buddy, Jim Reston, who's played by Bill Paxton, to extract data from the brain of John Halsey, who was a top mathematician at Unis, which is now a mega corporation that Jim Reston works for. And it's a very strange science fiction horror film, really bizarre, very violent. It deals a lot with brain problems that people have, mental illness, and it's kind of campy at the same time.
Nice.
But it was one of those movies that was made in the late 80s to early 90s that Bill Paxton did. I watched it last night. It was very enjoyable still. That's streaming on Amazon and Tubi.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I love those two actors.
Yeah, totally. The last one that I want to reference is in 2018's Monster Party, which I think I may have talked to you about this movie. Yeah. I can't remember. But it's directed by Chris Van Hoffman, who was a guerrilla filmmaker. And this was kind of his first big budget movie, which is about a group of young thieves who take on a waiting gig to rob a party of rich people. The issue is that this party is about people who are recovering murder addicts.
Hey.
So it's really campy. It's also very violent. There's a lot of good one-liners in it. It has Lance Reddick from The Guest in it, remember?
Yeah. I love that dude.
He plays the counselor. Julian McMahon, who looks a lot like a young Earl Flynn in this movie.
Nice.
He plays the father. Extremely violent. Very funny. It's a good one.
Murder Party. I like it.
Yeah, that's streaming on Shudder right now.
Ooh. All right, cool. Any others?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so this was fun, man. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for talking Near Dark. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Chris Kelly, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.